very good morning and welcome to Smart Men's Business. Today is the 7th of February, and of course, it's a Tuesday. Of course, date number 2. We're in the back to school week. Let me say that the back to school environment, the back to school mood. So let me say that, and of course, quite is really transpiring, and of course, very very interesting for all the people that are going back to, of course, to attend school once again. Education is something very, very, very key. And of course, as usual, despite the fact that it's all transparent, we can't deny the fact that the businesses always, of course, keep moving on. I'm Andrew Barigi, and of course, I'm here to take you through the business updates. Of course, what is really happening globally and, of course, locally at the same time. How are you doing? And of course, it's day 2. For those of you that have been, trying to draw plans for how you're going to try to run business this entire week, how far have you gone? How was the Monday yesterday? How did business really transpire right there? And of course, if something didn't go right, it's the right appropriate time to get to understand what should be really done right. It's exactly 11 past 7, and at this particular time, let's get into an update. And this time around, we are talking about the coffee farmers in Mubende regarding the Coffee Act. And of course, some of the challenges that they face in what they really do, the activity that they carry out, the coffee related one. So we want to review something regarding that, the compliance levels regarding this very act, and so many other challenges as they really air them out. At this particular time, let's get into that update. I'll be returning with just a few hints on that.
And today we are looking at the coffee enterprise, where we have the government mandates and the farmers' mandates. And when we look at government is responsible for providing seedlings to farmers from certified nurseries. And in Mubende, we have 52 coffee nurseries that are certified. And that is where we recommend farmers to get seedlings from. It doesn't matter whether the government has provided, or you get money yourself and go and purchase. So with farmers' responsibilities in attaining quality coffee, we expect the farmer to plant right coffee seedlings from certified nurseries, then take good management in the oil plantation, and we expect him or her to practice good agronomical practices. We look at spacing, we look at weed management, and we can look at the plantation and the pest and disease management. So when it comes to post-harvest handling, we expect a farmer to pick only the mature red cherries, then dry them on tarpaulins or cemented grounds, not on bare ground. And when it comes to stores, we expect those that are operating stores to register their premises, put pallets in the stores, ensure that it is well ventilated to avoid aflatoxins, because they are very harmful to our health. Then, today we are having CIATINI, which is a non-government organization. The farmers have much hope in this organization because it looks at the policies. It is going to look at the National Coffee Act of 2021, how we can enforce it, how farmers can better understand it, and to raise voices to relevant authorities that would look at the market price of coffee, how they can raise it for farmers to benefit. Actually, if the government could raise the price of coffee per kilogram, these farmers will be enticed to plant more coffee, and this will help us attain the roadmap of 20 million bags to 2025. And I think if this is done, the coffee sector will have been promoted. Farmers do understand the National Coffee Act of 2021. Trainings have been made by the relevant authorities, by the media, and their trainings are still ongoing. But if we train you, if we sensitize you on the act, and you're still doing what is not right, we shall get you, we shall use our police, and you will be charged before law.
we are doing, what we have done already, is to bring together the farmers, you know, because, for example, there are some farmers who are doing well. There are those ones who are not doing very well. So we have created a platform where farmers in Mubende can be able to meet, talk about their challenges, but practically also go to the ground, because where we are now, they are small-scale producers, the extension work is here, the leadership is here to be able to exchange views on how to address this issue. Another issue which we are going to also look at is also exchange visits between, for example, people in Mubende and people in Mbale, so that they can also be able to exchange ideas on how to be able to grow their coffee. We are also ensuring that the Coffee Act is known. You know, the Coffee Act which was passed is known, because what we found out, most farmers have never heard of it. They don't know what it says, they don't know what it means. So we want also to make sure, we are going to work with UCDA to make sure that that act is worked on. Yeah, most of the farmers, in fact, one question they were asking, where is government in all this? You know, so the presence of government should be felt more. You know, they are extension workers, but I think they are also overwhelmed. You know, so if government says coffee is our mainstay, the mainstay of our economy, I think government should do much more, should put in more resources, more finances, more human resource to make sure that we get from coffee what we are supposed to get.
So after here, where is your team going? After Mubende, what will be?
After Mubende, we are also looking at, we do work around coffee also in Mbale. And that's what I was saying. We want to bring people from Mbale, Mubende to meet, but also people from Mbale and Mubende to be able to meet the Ministry of Agriculture, meet UCDA, meet all those people who work on coffee, so that they can be able to exchange ideas.
That's the farmers in Mubende, of course, with the partnership with the non-government organization that is Yatin, trying to address issues that related to coffee, and we saw some of the challenges that these farmers face, something to do with counterfeit, and also the fact that the coffee prices keep on fluctuating. But of course, still there has been something to do with urging these farmers to comply with the act, and of course there is a possible penalty that will be in incorporated when somebody doesn't really comply with that. So at this particular time, in a few minutes, we're getting into the traffic updates and see what's happening. That's around one day here. Yes, remember it's back to school week, and of course such is anticipated, as we can observe right there. Vehicles held for quite a few minutes just there. If I'm not mistaken, that is where we are facing, that is Makere Road. You can see just held right there, and it seems like there is quite a heavy fleet of vehicles just behind, not so heavy as such, but quite a little favorable. So for people that are connecting Vasa Apollo, probably connecting to this very junction, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Makera Road seems to be a little free, not so much congested as such, because if I see from the main gate, there are two traffic lights, and that is before you reach the one that, yeah, the major junction traffic lights. But those traffic lights before that's at the main gate, we are seeing what is really happening there. It's all free. So those that are coming from Makere and Sapple, actually it also connects on that very road, and you're planning to use this route, yes, chances are high that you might be in position to actually reach in time to execute what you're supposed to execute. It's a little fair, seeing borders, pedestrians, passers-by, trying to, and there is full control of the traffic by the traffic lights just right there. So we are seeing the intervals in which these vehicles are held, and they're quite they're always, it's always 3 to 5 minutes as we are observing. Yeah, just right there. So it seems to be a very friendly route for anybody that is going to come and use this route. Now you just see the vehicles have just been released at this particular time, so we're getting to see now majority are heading towards Kampala. You're making that turn. Definitely, it's quite. You can see the other traffic lights at the Makere main gate. Yes, the vehicles that are held there now, those are people that are connecting from Sao. Now you see, the danger here is that you're going to come across two traffic lights. Those traffic lights are the ones at the other junction to Wandegia, so that will really determine a lot of how fast you will be in position to reach where you're going. Now the only challenge is that that fleet that is parked right there, it's not held for so long, but it's very quite heavy as we're observing it. That is Makera Road. Yes, so people connecting in those particular areas and Nakulavie, and you're coming all the way here. You will get to see that you may find some little challenges. Actually, the traffic officers are in full control of the traffic. It's known the traffic lights are absolutely in control. Now let's take a look at that other route. That is Bombo Road. You see quite lots of borders held on Bombo Road, and now they're just being released. Yes, and some vehicles just right there. So for the people that stay in areas of Boise, you can really connect to that. Kalere, and you're going to probably use this the Bomber Road to connect to town. It seems heavy. It seems a little congested as I'm seeing the vehicles held. So probably you may not be in position to actually reach in time. You might be delayed a little bit because already in Boise it's already there is some little bit of congestion. So you add on you passing by the Bomber route. That can also be a little hectic in a way that way. So we observing the time interval in which these vehicles are held is not okay. Let's observe and see what is really transpiring just right there. Yes, it's a back to school week, and the majority just know. There are quite so many people that are on the road of late because unlike before when people were home, but now people have a reason, most especially now for the day scholars that study day. I would say the boarding schools might cause, because some people, going back to school, it might cause some little bit of congestion. But now there is that, we consider the fact that there are day scholars that report to work every day, and some have to be transported. Now, that's the Mulago Kamocha Road. Yes, for those that coming from Kamocha, most especially Mulago. Yes, and you're coming to town. I think we see how it's a little bit congested in there. Yes, it's a little congested as you're observing. So probably if you're coming from Wandegea, Lago, and of course you're planning to use the Wandegea junction. Sorry, if you're coming from Mulago and Kamocha, in those areas, and you're planning to pass by the Wandegea traffic lights junction, okay, you may have some little hardships to reach in time to execute what you're supposed to execute. See that now some vehicles that are heading to town are heading actually, but then those that we are still seeing just right there, they are heading towards Makere Road up and connect to those other areas. So these that are coming straight, the borders, they connect straight to town. Yeah, but it might be actually okay. Yeah, it might be very fine for you if you're coming from Lago and Mulago, coming from Kamocha and connecting to this very route. Yes, it's a free. You can see that border, very free lane just in there heading to town. Yes, so you will be in position to actually reach in time. But then let's take a look at the lane there. In most cases, we normally have a congestion in between there. That road that heads to YMCA, and we continue straight. Now you see now those vehicles that are heading there, they've been at Bombo Road, and now they're being released. They're heading to Kampala, so you can see a congestion in the middle there. So you might survive here, but you might reaching there in the middle there, you might find a little bit of hardship to really, because vehicles are moving too slow because of congestion, and now as a result there is also a jam which is being formed as a result of that. So we are observing that atmosphere, how it is really transpiring. Of course, as if we compare to the now, you see the vehicles that are coming from town and they're heading to those different destinations. Probably that most are heading to Kamocha, Mulago. For most people that are having work there, I can see it's very free. So if you're coming from Kampala and you probably plan to use the one again traffic light place, a junction to connect to Mulago, to connect to Kamocha, it seems a very free lane for you there. You will be in position to actually reach in time and execute what you're supposed to execute on a timely manner. So that is something that is quite very, as we're observing it there. It's very okay, it's very fine. From town heading to Mlago, it's very fine. Maybe we can just have a review back at the Makera route. Yes, Makera Road, and we see that. And back there, the main gate traffic lights, you can see it's heavily, there is a heavy congestion, and we're seeing just a few vehicles that are being held coming from there, heading straight to town. Majority just heading, making a turn to town. And yeah, it's a back to school week. Probably that explains why we see the congestion happening that way, because some students are still reporting back to school till some days. It might take like a week when they are still reporting back to school. So that is really anticipated. But still, like I say, there is the aftermath of this, that after here, what is really going to really be transpiring, the day scholars that are studying. See, take a look at that heavy fleet coming from Makera main gate, coming just right here, heavily, very heavy, heavy congested right there. So for the Sao Paulo, people staying in those areas, Nakulavie, Kasumbi, most cases are the ones that use this route to connect at these very routes. So you get to even Namungona. Some people definitely, when they're coming to town, they pass by here to connect to here. Boise, Calera, like I mentioned. Also, some of them pass by there and they connect to the Makera route to come to town. But then, yes, I can see that the vehicles are held and there is quite a free lane. But at the Makera main gate traffic lights are also still holding quite a lot of vehicles. So you might be you might survive those ones, but then you come in the junction and you also face some of the traffic lights. So it's more of a double, some sort of a double, double traffic. Let me say you're held 2 times on the road. Yes. All right, and that is it for the traffic updates. It's exactly 27 past 7 a.m. and at this particular time, let's get into a short commercial break. We shall be returning with more business insights. Stick around. SMB returns.